Hey everyone, in this video we're fixing a plastic sewing machine. So the machine was not spinning so freely. So you'll see here me kind of checking it out, and you could kind of see it speeding up and slowing down. Now granted, this video is highly sped up, but you can see very briefly that it does get bound up every so often. So I was reluctant to kind of take off the pieces, but I ended up taking off the back. I did check the power supply first just to make sure it was getting the proper power, and it was. That was my check that was there before. There's so many screws on the back of this, and you needed different lengths of screwdrivers to kind of get it in there. And there was just so many of them. But eventually, it did come away. And once we get inside, it was basically pretty simple. Some threading had gotten bound up into the works, right? So it was at various different parts of the gearbox and in the, and I guess the sewing mechanism. And I'm sorry if I'm not familiar with all the terms, but just looking at everything, you can kind of see how kind of complex it is. But a simple examination discovered that just those basic areas needed some binding, clearance, and you'll see me actually trying to do a little dusting and eventually some lubrication here of the parts, just to get everything back up and running. So once everything is back together, we'll put the cover back on. To get the cover back on, it's basically reverse order operation and just remembering which screws went where. So now, somewhere in the process, or maybe even before, the connector for the power supply got bent out of shape, and actually the one of the leads didn't work. So that was another repair that had to be done on this item. Fortunately, a friend also had a replacement adapter fitting, so basically that was spliced into the power supply, just to make this running again. The very thin wires in the strain relief on that basically separated at least one of the pins, so I wasn't getting connectivity anymore. So again, the only real solution was to basically splice in a new one. Oh, you also see I'm fixing a needle that got bent out of shape, so I'm trying to straighten that out for her here as well. That's what I'm fixing first before I get actually deep into the power supply. As a note, when taking off the housing, sometimes the knobs have to come off, so in this case that front knob did have to come off. And now I'm getting into the repair of the power supply. We're looking for alternatives to also buy online as an option, so that is another consideration. Fortunately, we were lucky to have the mating pin adapter fitting to go in there, since it's fairly standard in size. And the final elements here is to kind of teach the person a little better on how to use the sewing machine. So notice a colleague who's more familiar with sewing, kind of showing the ins and outs of using the machine. And that's it, basically, for the repair. Thank you so much. Hope this helps.